And good early morning to you, YouTube. How you folks doing? DP here of GC Blues 45. We had 5 games on the dock, so let's get right into this post-game report. Remember, if you haven't come across this video, you have to like it. Let's get that thumbs up doodle going, okay? So, all right, here we go. Boston at home against Buffalo. Entering this matchup, Buffalo was 26-33 and 6 and 58 points. Boston 30, 30, and 8 and 69 points. And after 60 minutes, this game was tied. Had to go to overtime, and Buffalo wins by a score of 3-2. Shots on goal were the Sabres 30, the Bruins 19. The Sabres had 17 saves with the Bruins 27. Buffalo was 2 for 4 on the power play with Boston Buffalo was 2 for 4 on the power play with Boston 0 for 2 on the power play. What to say about this one? This game was pretty evenly matched all the way through. Um, but Buffalo wanted to win more. That's why they got it. Um, but Boston picked up a point, so way to go for Boston. I had to give them props. So real nice, and can't win them all, but they got one more game left this season, so we'll see what happens. But like I said, Buffalo wanted it more, and it was an evenly matched game all the way through. So I cannot complain. Next, we had the Philadelphia Flyers at the Lightning. Entering this matchup, Philadelphia was 28-32 and 8 and 64 points. Tampa 38-23 and 5 and 81 points. And at the end of 60 minutes, the Tampa Bay Lightning beat the Philadelphia Flyers by the score of 2-0, and it's a Pepsi Zero Sugar shutout. Yay! Shots on goal were the Lightning. Sorry, yeah, the Bolts 23, the Flyers 21. The Lightning had 21 saves. Actually, sorry, both teams had 21 saves, and Tampa was 1 for 4 on the power play with Philadelphia 0 for 5 on the power play. And Tampa, now in the 3 games that they had, Tampa went 1-0-2. So the first 2 games went to shutout, but they picked up a point. So they picked up 3 points, but Philadelphia wins the series 2-1, 2-1-0. And also the goals were tied 6-all. But Philadelphia wins the series 2-1-0. So, but Tampa at least they got this win. I had to say this. This game was evenly matched all the way through. I have to admit, it was. It was. Despite Philadelphia not scoring, I had to say this was an evenly matched game. Philadelphia did try hard. I have to admit, even though they lost, I think they did try. They did play full 60 minutes, I think. So that's why that. But Tampa wanted to win more. That's why it happened. So, but way to go by the Lightning. Next was the Jersey Devils at the Columbus Blue Jackets. Entering this matchup, New Jersey was 36, 26, and 6 and 78 points. Columbus 31, 27, and 8 and 70 points. At the end of 60 minutes, the New Jersey Devils beat the Columbus Blue Jackets by a score of 2-1. Shots on goal were um, shots on goal. The Devils 20, the Jackets 46. The Devils had 45 saves with the Blue Jackets 18, and both teams were 0 for 1 on the power play. And New Jersey wins the series 2-1 and wins win on the goals, outscored the Blue Jackets 9-8. It was pretty close. Um, what to say about this one? Once again, a nice, good, evenly matched game despite the loss for Columbus. Now, Columbus still has good high hopes for the playoffs, and we'll see what can happen. New Jersey gets good high hopes for the playoffs too. They continued their quest to get in and probably do it. Um, but yeah, this was a I pretty much this was an evenly matched game. These first three games evenly matched in my opinion. I think it was a very good game, good hope for a game. Columbus played a full 60 minutes, so I don't see any downfall. But very go for the Blue Jackets, but New Jersey wanted to win more. That's why they won. Next were the Flames at Toronto. Calgary and Toronto. Entering this matchup, the Flames were 30, 24, and 11, 71 points. Toronto 39, 24, and 3, and 81 points. Now, the Flames had to win this game to stay in the hunt for the playoffs. They do it. So no team bumps them basically. At the end of 60 minutes, the Toronto Maple Leafs beat the Calgary Flames by a score of 6-2. That's right. Shots on goal were the Leafs 29, the Flames 26. The Maple Leafs had 24 saves, with the Flames 23. Toronto went 3 for 3 on the power play, with Calgary 0 for 4. And Toronto sweeps the series 2-0, and outscored Calgary in the overall by with by by 7, basically 12-5. Outscored them 12-5. Wow, that's pretty good. Um, After one, it was an evenly match, and then all of a sudden Toronto was like, "Okay, we're going to end you guys. We're going to make sure St. Louis gets in spot. You guys go lower. St. Louis gets in." So that's what happened. So, and basically Toronto's like, "Hey, you're welcome, St. Louis." um, Toronto just dominated this game, and rightfully so. And this Calgary just couldn't outstand them. Withstand the the Maple Leafs, and especially the Maple Leafs were wearing their St. Pat's jerseys. The Since it's St. Patrick's Day, by the way, happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. And also, we also had a heavenly birthday in my family today. Today was my grandpa David's birthday. Yeah. He would have been 100. He'd been over 100 years old if he was still alive today, but of course he's not. But it's always good to have a heavenly birthday. But yeah, Toronto, they just dominated this game, and rightfully so. So way to go. And finally, LA at the Wild in Minnesota. Entering this matchup, LA was 36, 20, and 9 and 81 points. Minnesota 37, 25, and 5 and 79 points. And at the end of 60 minutes, the LA Kings lose to the Minnesota Wild by a score of 3-1. Shots on goal were the Wild 22, the Kings 29. The Wild had 28 saves, with the Kings 19. Minnesota went 2 for 3 on the power play, with the Wild 1 for 4. Sorry. The Minnesota went 2 for 3 on the power play, with LA 1 for 4 on the power play. But despite this, LA wins the series 2-1-0, 2 games to 1, Way to go by LA. And outscored on the goals 10 to 5. So despite Minnesota's win, LA still wins the series. So way to go for Minnesota. I mean for LA. I have to say this. This game was pretty evenly matched all the way through. LA played a full 60 minutes, and it was a very good game. And of course, in the third period, what tied, um, or should I say, with Minnesota up 2-1, they pulled their goalie late. They wanted to tie the game to send to overtime. They didn't do it, and Minnesota scored. So Minnesota wanted this win more. It keeps their playoff hopes alive. But now they're tied. But Minnesota and LA are now tied in points, and it does go by points for your seeding also. So we'll wait and see what can happen. Um, but yeah, it was not bad games this night. I went 3-1-1 for another 7 points for the night, and puts my record now at 264, 151, and 41. 571 points for the year. That's not too shabby. We got more games on dock for tomorrow. As always, folks, please stay safe, take care, remember the Lord's watching you, and I'll see you guys soon. Until then, peace.